Got my tomatillo sprouts coming up. They're about 3-4 inches, and I've been doing them indoors under a Tech 5 fluorescent light, which here, take a look, is not recommended to do with your actual eyeballs. And taking a look, that is. Nevertheless, here you go. And I'm gonna take these out into the greenhouse, and in a couple months or so we're gonna have some huge plants. These things are gonna be huge. You're gonna be amazed. You see these little things right now. These things are huge. These are huge. The size of these originally was more like this when they first came up. And this is the Peruvianus golden Aztec berry family, actually, because I would call it the Peruvianus ground cherry, and the golden Aztec berry is a close relative. The Physalis is the name of the genus or the family, and they're all ground cherries, and they're all ground cherries. Ground cherry is a generic term, which is actually a noxious weed in the mid-south of United States. Nevertheless, the tomatillo is a South American green tomato that is very good, and it's kind of like a zesty, mild green sauce, zangy, tangy. Do those words describe the taste? It's in a lot of Mexican green sauces, tomatillo. So if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about it, I got a lot of videos on mrhumboldthippy at YouTube, Mr. Humboldt-Hippy's Garden, and I sell these tomatillo plants here along with lots of other plants, and so I only sell whatever I have that's ready to be able to be sold, so they're not always in store or anywhere, so you can just contact me year-round. I have plants year-round, and they're all grown by God naturally, and in the sense that they're not heavily sprayed with any chemicals or any growth additives or anything. I live on the ocean, so the whole indoor partial portion of any part of their growth could be considered unnatural, I guess, but this is what's called soil from the earth, and they're growing under light, and they do go outside every day, and they're only getting fresh air, and they're only getting natural elements that come from the earth. And I guess I could easily be argued against, whether or not they're grown by God, but legally they're grown by God, and they're definitely not organic or natural or any other federally regulated term. These are grown by Mother Nature, if that's more acceptable to you. These are my plants. I grow plants with the most consideration to their most normal growing structure and their most normal conditions, and the products that they're most accustomed to growing with. And so that's why I say that. Your standard nursery and or any commercial grower is definitely not doing that. There's just endless amount of supplies that I will show you if you want to check out my videos on supplies or nutrients or anything. I can show you endless amounts of different things that people use, and it's all good. I'm not trying to necessarily degrade another person's way of growing, but just that I think that it's important that people grow naturally, grown by God type of way, and not be regulated. I think that God, nature, has been growing us and all life forms since the beginning of time, and I think that it doesn't need to be fixed, and I don't think that anything needs to be changed or helped, and I don't think that we need to create food, and I don't think that people need to be taught how to eat and I don't think people need to be taught how to grow food. Um, I think that the food grows all around you every day, and that you need to be taught what is food. That might sound kind of strange to you, but if you turn on the news, or if you look at yourself in the mirror, or if you look at the ingredients on the back of what you call food, chances are you cannot read the ingredients on the back of whatever it is that you purchase and call food. So, dislike my comments or not, I think that my comments ring true for the average person. 98% of the planet is not a naturalist, and they do not understand natural growth of anything, and the ingredients in most of the labels of the food that they eat, they do not understand, and they cannot pronounce, and they do not know what those chemicals are, and they do not know what those words mean. And we have regulatory agencies that we trust to learn those words and learn what those meanings are for us. They're called the FDA, Food, Drug, and Administration. There's some serious title there, and it means a lot. It means that they, ensure that the safety of specific drugs by the pharmaceutical companies are regulated and are properly sold through the proper channels, and that in conjunction with the DEA, Department of Enforcement, Drug Enforcement Agency, make sure that there's no illegal knockoffs of those drugs. In UK, it just became illegal to sell all Chinese medicinal plants that are touted for any particular medicinal purpose. So basically that means all cancer plants and all health plants and all anything that has to do with Chinese people is pretty much illegal in the UK apparently. So I really hope that y'all look it up. Look up the USDA. Listen to Bill Gates. Listen to these people talk about their plans for Monsanto, and our government is plans for Walmart to be a superpower food source. Walmart is going beyond the store structure and is going to be a part of an American entity. Walmart is literally going to be a sponsor, a spokesman, for our country. And according to President Obama, they want to help feed the world, and it's not according to the Department of Health, it's not so much important what's in the food, but just the fact that you are getting what's called food, and who you are is the poor majority of the world, according to our Department of Health and peoples and the FDA, that decide that we need to pass these laws that have genetically modified foods because people need to eat, and there's a lot of hungry people in the world. But our federal government pays our American farmers to subsidize their food, which means that they have to bury their food. They have to grow a bunch of food and they have to bury it because it offsets the cost of food and rice in China. And if the people in India and China and Mexico and all those farmers start being able to sell their food then to us, then, or whoever, then that's going to affect the cost of rice in some other country, in France. And so, the word is subsidized. Subsidized. Look it up. It's a very long, common American historical fact. Any farmer knows what I'm talking about, and any ignorant American has no idea and thinks I'm just some crazy person. But, the word is subsidized. You look it up. That we pay American farmers to bury food. We have no need for food. Food grows everywhere. This plant right here, this is literally like a Mexican plant, which might be called a racist term or a prejudiced term, but that's all it's considered. This, in our country, is called a noxious weed. We're not allowed to grow this. I'm not even allowed to sell this. This is food. This is a well-known food sold in every supermarket, but if our government literally took the time to consider it, they'd be like, wait a minute, you're not allowed to sell this. This is on our list of noxious weeds. Look it up. USDA, Department of Agriculture, considers most of the food that I eat, and all medicinal plants, like I said in UK, illegal, immoral, or dangerous to our society and a destruction of the future food crops of America. These things are regulated. You know? Tomatillo, whatever. Tomatoes, you know. I mean, you can't sell, I can't sell you this plant right here, this goji berry, and say, oh, it's got 1,000,000 tons of antioxidants in it. You know, you never catch cancer if you eat these things. Well, that's a crime. You know, I have hundreds of goji berry plants. You want to buy one? No problem. Check me out, GNOSY1 at YouTube. GNOSY at Etsy is my store. That's where I sell these things. These are goji berry plants. Sage, white sage, Ulana, plants of the gods. I got plenty of stuff. So check me out. Talk to me. Let me know. What, you want to buy a cherimoya? You don't think I can't represent? Check me out. Mr. Humboldt-Hippy's garden, or Fenario garden, Nazi at Etsy. I get around.